can you believe it? The Cleveland Browns and the Baltimore Ravens. It's not a big game for the Browns, but the way they're playing right now, whole lot of fun. Baker Mayfield playing well. Everything's kind of improving over there. Baltimore Ravens playing for a playoff spot. These teams played a few weeks back, and it was a 12-9 overtime victory for the Browns.
Yeah. It kind of is a big game for them, though, as well. They're not in the playoffs to play for anymore, but they have a winning record to play for.
Baker said they're playing for their identity or something like that.
Well, yeah, but that's, crap. They have a winning record to play for. That's the important thing.
That's true.
This is the first winning record this team could have for years with the quarterback like Baker Mayfield actually leading the way. I think it's a pretty big game for them. That's a legitimate thing to actually play for.
Yeah, it certainly is. And, it's going to be a good challenge. The Ravens are coming off a great defensive performance against the Los Angeles Chargers. And you've got the Browns. And as we mentioned, Baker, the highest graded rookie, top 10 graded quarterback, going up against this Ravens defense. That's pretty much the matchup to watch in this one, is it not?
Yeah, definitely. I saw Robert Klemko tweet some statistics earlier about the Ravens this season against quarterbacks with 5 or fewer years of experience. Basically,
I saw that.
Terrible stats. 58% completion, 6 yards per attempt, something like that. Blah, blah, blah. Like Baker Mayfield, in the first time they played, all right, they didn't score many points, but he passed for 8 yards per attempt. Like, he was getting the job done against this Ravens defense, I think better than a lot of younger quarterbacks have. And, we've seen him throw some ill-advised passes and make some mistakes, against teams like Houston, for example. But by and large, you haven't seen a team, shut him down. They forced mistakes out of him, but the team hasn't really stifled him and completely...
What was it, the Chargers, pretty much? Chargers game, they didn't do a whole lot until garbage time.
Right.
Texans game, a little bit of that.
Yeah, but the Texans game, I think, was more the big mistakes than an inability to function, as a passing quarterback.
Yeah, we've talked about the Ravens quite a bit over the last few weeks, so we don't want to repeat everything, but they're running a different type of offense. We've discussed Lamar at length the other day. If you guys want to go back and listen to it, that the Lamar analysis remains the same, right?
Yeah.
Throw for throw in accuracy, but make some nice downfield throws. They're trying to win with the running game and controlling the clock, and they've had some good success with it in recent weeks. But that success has certainly coincided with what the defense has done. They've started to rush the passer much better. And coming into the year, they did look like a very intriguing secondary, especially when healthy. You have Marlon Humphrey's emergence, when Jimmy Smith is out there, Tavon Young. I mean, they've got a lot of guys that can cover, plus Tony Jefferson and Eric Weddle back there. They're pretty good in the right spots.
Also, Brandon Carr continues to make really good plays every now and again. I was saying to you during that Chargers game, he is a guy that looked like he was done about 3 years ago,
right?
And just keeps on going. And if anything, is playing as well as he's done, even at his best now. He's made a few incredible plays this season and remains a pretty good corner at times.
Yeah, he does, and he had a pretty solid game against the Chargers. So the Ravens are tough to pass on. We were breaking down the best defenses on the YouTube channel, myself and Eric Eager, and he was talking about how good the Ravens are in early downs. So one of the things that they've come up with, a lot of times you point to third down success, and you're like, hey, this defense is great on third down. But the old adage that first and second down kind of determines how easy third down is going to be really holds true, because the more they run the numbers on that, the first and second down stuff is the most stable. You get bigger sample size. And if you're good in those areas, you do have more third and longs. That's where the Ravens are excelling. So I think here's where the matchup is good. How was the Browns play calling earlier in the year with Todd Haley?
Awful.
Early down stuff, especially, right?
Kept setting Baker Mayfield up with third and forever.
Right. So this is Freddie Kitchens going up against this Ravens defense and getting some creative play calls, early play action, some cheap yards, as much as you can on early downs is crucial against this Ravens defense, because they do still have that creative third down package where blitzes are coming and they're fake blitzing and they're doing all these things from all different angles. As good as Baker has played, you still don't want to deal with that. So you do want to get into third and four type of situations.
Other than yardage, total yardage, which really is just a product of volume at this point, Baker Mayfield's numbers look incredibly like Tom Brady's numbers.
Ooh.
Same completion percentage is within a percentage point. 7.5 versus 7.6 yards per attempt. 25 touchdowns to 24 touchdowns, both with 11 picks. Passer rating 95.4 versus 95.1.
Why are you just reading stats?
Because they're very similar. And Tom Brady is your hero as the bastion of great quarterback play over the past however long. And Baker Mayfield's numbers look pretty much the same.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's 41.
Yeah. So, 41-year-old Brady is analogous to rookie Baker Mayfield.
Good for Baker.
Right.
Good for Baker.
Baker Mayfield's...
That's like the whole, like, when Brady's 75, maybe Christian Hackenberg in his prime is as good as him.
That is one of the great unanswered questions in football is, at what age does Tom Brady become a worse player, a worse quarterback than Christian Hackenberg? What age do their talent levels intersect?
But we decided there's no place where they intersect.
Right, because...
So then we had to start saying, when does prime Christian Hackenberg equal
Yes.
Tom? At what age is
Right.
Tom Brady equal to prime Christian Hackenberg?
Yeah, because...
And it's probably like 68
right,
to 70.
at the point where Tom Brady would get worse than Hackenberg would also be about 45, so...
Can I give you a Baker Mayfield stat?
Yeah.
35 big-time throws. That is 5th in the NFL. You got Patrick Mahomes, number 1, Ben Roethlisberger, Russell Wilson, Aaron Rodgers, then Baker Mayfield at 35, and he has fewer attempts than everybody on the list besides Russell Wilson. So Wilson has the highest percentage of big-time throws.
So my favorite is that
Big-time throw mug is right here, by the way.
Yeah.
Boom.
He's got the second best rookie quarterback grade we've ever given anybody at the moment.
He does.
The only person with a higher grade right now is 2012 Russell Wilson. So as much as everybody
Not
was...
RG3?
No.
Either? He's ahead of
RG3
RG3.
is third. But as much as everyone was losing their minds over that 2012 RG3 season, we actually had Russell Wilson as the better graded quarterback that season. And, obviously RG3's career has gone off the rails, but that was kind of borne out by the fact that Russell Wilson remained awesome.
Yeah.
Whereas RG3 didn't. But the point is, that's pretty impressive, right? It's Russell Wilson, right now Baker Mayfield, and then RG3.
Yeah, it is impressive. And this is why it's a fun matchup going up against that Ravens defense. The Browns defensively, another weird team early in the year that they've been, kind of relying on turnovers. I think they do have a ton of defensive talent. I still can't figure out if Greg Williams is good for that defense or not. Because it kind of fluctuates between conservative safety play and just, crazy blitzes. But they're going to have to do the whole, got to throw 8 guys in the box to stop the run, right? And make Lamar beat you through the air. I'm curious to see what Greg Williams does defensively going up against Lamar.
Yeah, I mean, that's definitely a big thing is that the Ravens, we've said this before, they present unique challenges to any kind of defense because they're going to show you stuff that you're not used to seeing. And if nothing else, you now have to figure out how you're accounting for the quarterback as part of the run game on pretty much every single snap. You can't just play that inside zone up the middle to Gus Edwards because Lamar Jackson's a threat to keep the ball at any time, and you need to maintain gap integrity on the backside. You need to contain. You need to make sure that he doesn't have a clear run to anything. And it is this interesting matchup with any defense, but particularly with a hyper-aggressive defense like Greg Williams that likes to blitz everything. It's not a problem. You just need to make sure you're all maintaining discipline while you're doing that. You can be aggressive and disciplined at the same time. I think Rex Ryan's Jets defenses in their heyday were always very good at that. He had some hyper-aggressive defenses, but they were always very disciplined.
They didn't blitz a ton. It was the whole Rex Ryan tree. Would be the whole, here's 4 dudes who could be blitzing from one side, and there's actually only one that's coming, and there's one coming from the other side, and it's that's where they've always been really, really good. It looks like there could be 8 guys blitzing at a given time, and there's only 4 rushers, and figuring out where they're coming from. That's where they've always been really, really good. I think from a matchup standpoint, you have Myles Garrett emerging as one of the best defensive ends, edge defenders in the entire league. Ronnie Stanley continues to develop at offensive tackle. I think that's one of those twice-a-year matchups that's going to be fun to watch as we move forward as well.
Yeah, definitely, especially because Myles Garrett has that kind of brute power, brute force to him, whereas if Ronnie Stanley struggles anywhere, it's with these more powerful but also, quick defensive ends. I think he can handle speed pretty well.
Right.
But guys that are just going to attack him physically are guys that tend to give him some problems.
Should be a good one. Who would have thought? Browns-Ravens, one of the most intriguing Week 17 matchups. You and I are both taking Baltimore. We're going with the hot hand here.
Yeah. I don't love it, though.
Don't love it.
I need 3 games to become the best PFF pick person. And I've had to go against Nate 3 times, right, to get those 3 games back. This was one of the games that I could have gone the other way and didn't. And now, the longer I think about it, the more I'm wishing I did.
Well,
but anyway.
It's too late now.
Yeah.
It's in the podcast world now. So everybody knows you've picked the Ravens.